Okay, well, picking up where we left off last stream, nearly said episode there, where we picked off. Oh my god, I'm just going to stop wording at this point. Let's talk to this guy.
Whatever. Greetings, taxpayers. I am Duke Eltan, commander of the Flaming Fist.
I am glad to have you back. So what have you learned so far? Where is the Die Pond Scum option? Let's see. We know that any incriminating evidence would be found with Realtar, the overall leader of the Iron Throne, in Baldur's Gate. He is currently supposed to be at Candlekeep on some sort of business. Other than there is only one thing to do: travel to Candlekeep and learn what they're doing. Whatever it is, it can't bode well for the fortunes of this city. Take this book. Without it, the Keeper of the Portal won't allow you entrance into the library. Here also is the reward money that I'd promised you.
Your journey has come full circle. Duke Elton has asked that you travel back to Candlekeep, where you must spy upon the leaders of the Iron Throne. While it troubles you that such evil men now make use of the Great Library, and you wish the circumstances of your visit would be different, it will still be a pleasure to return to your former home.
If you want.
Hold, travelers! Before you will be allowed entrance, you must donate a tome of great value to our library.
Oh, we have the book you require? Oh, you have met the requirements to gain entry to our most holy library. It is fine to see the child of Gorion once again within these hallowed grounds. Please have your less civilized friends refrain from causing trouble. We are very strict with the letter of the law, as you well know, Rove. And we teleport. Well, the first thing we're going to do is head around to... Is there anything in there? We're going to head around to the shop. What are you, watchers? I wonder what happens if we talk to these people after such a long absence.
What do you need?
Rove, I didn't think you were ever coming back. What's it like out there? Let's see. It's big, I don't know how else to put it. I've lived my entire life within these walls, and in the past while I've seen 50 times as much as these walls could ever hold. It's weird though, all that space and barely a book in it. Never realised how special Candlekeep really is, just that's one way of putting it in a glorified library. Yeah, people come from all over to see the books there. All sorts of folks too. Bards, nobles, priests, mages. Volo's even been here, and Elminster too, remember? A couple of just plain old merchants even wandered in the other day. Said they were with the Iron Throne and here to do some business. They're still around last I heard. Oh, that's all we needed to hear. Let's get our stabbing shoes on.
I shall collapse from exhaustion before I fall on the battlefield.
Grab that in case... What's her name? Ophidia? Whatever the woman's name was that looks for the book. Who's evidently not here now. But we shall sleep. There isn't much to do here really other than rob everybody blind. What are you? Revor.
If you want.
You're a queer fellow. This way.
Some stuff there. A dagger, we can sell that for a few shekels. Just gonna move stuff into... Whoops. There we go, I don't know quite what happened there. I managed to minimize myself back to the, that happened last stream as well, actually. I dropped out at a certain point. I wonder if that's just something that happens at 6 minutes into the stream, that it kicks me back to OBS.
This way.
Science.
I'm gone.
Got a diamond. And a ring. And nothing in there, of course. Oh, we've got something over there to pick. What's this one got? a pearl necklace? Just silver. Not that we're really hard done by for cash at all. Oh, all this jewellery's weighing her down. And some gold. Quick save. Can we pickpocket him?
I grow torpid and require slumber.
Evidently not.
We're
Anyway,
all doomed.
actually, can we pickpocket
I'm gone.
Revor? Nope. Not looking good. We'll need to level up, apparently. Great.
My hotel's as clean as an
Ah,
elven
now
arch.
there's a rapscallion. Set on the little wisp down and make every bolt count. Oh dear, you'll never take me alive. Well, calm down, kiddo. That big old world has tied your britches in a knot, hasn't she? Well, it's just as good old Winthrop is trying to pull your leg again. I guess having Seagrian die like that has its effect on a kid, eh? What, all bloody and stuff? Yep, watching his entrails across the countryside. Probably fucked you up a bit, huh? We shall rest. Let's see what our proceeds of crime will fetch us. Flame dance and silver will sell. I don't think we actually need a diamond for anything, so we'll sell you that dagger for a princely gold piece. And that is it. What have we got in the gem? Oh, we've already got a spare diamond in there. Okay. What's he going to sell us? And yes, that is my partner in the background. It is not quite 2 AM this time. He doesn't have anything to sell us. That's actually quite disappointing.
Light if you want.
It's a good
What's
thing that
the
we
point?
did most of our shopping back in Baldur's Gate then. Now that can go to Viconia. Potion of Clarity can go in the potion bag. I guess we will check out these bins, check out the barracks, and then make our way into the library. There isn't really a great deal to do at this end of things other than murder a shitload of people.
Huh, you're this way.
Not that I'm against that as a general proposition, of course. There's a face I never thought I'd see again in a million years. When we heard about Grian's passing, Fuller and I went out to gather his body, but you were nowhere to be seen. Just entrails scattered across the countryside. I don't know what you two have come across that night, but Grian died a noble death saving it for you, as evidenced by his splattered giblets. Thanks for taking care of his remains whole. I didn't have the means. Someday we'll sit down over a mug of ale and I'll tell you all about it. I look forward to it, kid. Are you locked? You are not. We'll take that.
I've done had enough of this.
Grab that. Parter, do you have anything that I can pick?
This way. I've done had enough. This way. I'm gone.
As I know what I'm putting Imoen's next point into.
We're all. What is the point?
That being said, off we go. And pardon my sniffle as well. Lydia. I wasn't too far off on the name.
Salutations. I am Catterley, a visitor of Candlekeep, like yourselves.
Pardon if I seem out of sorts, but the journey has been long and treacherous and my labours age me so. May I inquire as to your name? I am certain I have seen your face before, but I cannot fully place it. Let's see. Rove is my name, if it is any business of yours. I see. Well, as it turns out, I have met you previously. And just a moment, I have a visitor of my own. Okay, sorry about that. My youngest stepson just needed a drink and tucking back into bed. Okay, what were we doing? Oh, well, as it turns out, I have met you previously. Your manner has turned out far different than I would have guessed, however. I was acquainted with your foster father, as were many others, and I visited here a number of times while you grew up. His death has been mourned across the coast, and you would do well to represent his spirit in a better fashion. Treating people with respect would be a good start. Oh, well, why don't you go fuck yourself? Stoic manners and civility. I've changed much, and I always represent my own spirit as I see fit. You have Gryan's stubborn will, if not his reason. I will leave you to your tasks. There are some within the central keep who wish to speak to you, so it would be wise of you to visit there sometime. I don't suppose we can pick...
You're a queer
no.
fellow.
What is the
Then
point?
Flydia, do you want your book?
Hello there.
Oh, why hello, have you seen my book? Wait, no, you found that already, didn't you? Oh, I just don't know anymore. Never change, Flydia. Why, that's enough to make an old woman blush. Gryan sure raised a charmer in you. Oh dear, we're so in. Well, this is where
What you want? I'm
shit
gone.
gets real. Normal book? Wow, it's absolutely worthless. Actually, we're going to grab as many of these as we can. Well, not that one. I actually want the normal book. It's almost like a null item. It's an anomaly for me. I've never seen that before. Orlando, the wise founder of
Quest if you
Candlekeep.
want. We're all
Yep,
doomed.
I've done had enough of this.
Something on your mind?
Rove, my tortured child, look at you. Your face has gained some new lines since the days when I tutored you. Karan, you speak true, but it's not your fault. You prepared me as well as you could for what lay beyond these walls. I just pray that I am prepared for what I shall find within them now that I've returned. What's wrong here? Shall I tell the Watchers? Yes, call the Watchers, but first tell me if you have seen anything strange about the library today. Strange? Why, yes, that is the word I would have used for that cleverest fellow. He was right here beside me, taking Orlando's prophecies from their place upon the shelf and reading them. I could hear his voice, recognized the seer's words upon his quiet breath, but when I turned to steal a glance at him from the corner of my eye, it was the strangest thing. His eyes were closed, and he was reciting page after page as if from memory. He heard your footsteps, it seems, and wandered off. I was just returning the prophecies to the rightful place here. It might be wise to take a look if this cleverest fellow is dangerous, so I'm afraid I'm too old and bookish to be of more than a hindrance. Forgive me, but I must leave you now. Alright, so... Spoiler alert, Cloverus is Saravok. A letter and a scroll. And another letter and another scroll. History of the Moon Sea, I could care less. History of Lurien. Checked that one. What's this one? Another book. Oh, we've got bookcases in these rooms too. Nothing I care about. What do we have here? We have... Oh, web. I can sell that. I'm not going to use it. There's nothing more infuriating than a spell that paralyzes you in an area that you can't constantly see. And knock, which if I didn't have Imoen would mean something. And Jessup and stuff in there. I'm not going to charge in there without saving. I can't remember precisely where it is that shit does in fact get real. Probably help if we regroup as well.
Life
I
is so.
care not.
Our quest is
Where is
ready.
my...
We're all doomed.
That's my everyone button.
Whatever.
0.
I'm gone.
These walls contain the world's
Okay,
knowledge.
so he's booking it for Rove. Oh, dip me in broth and call me stewed. If it isn't little Rove. Why, I haven't seen you for nearly, quite some time anyway. How are you? I still remember you running about the keep in your little swaddling clothes, pestering the elders and spooking the cows. Ain't that right, Jessup? Surely was. Yes, of course you never did stay in those rags of yours long. Ah, yes, I remember. But how have you been? You'd be naked as a jaybird the moment someone turned their back on you. Remember the day that fella Blackstaff came floating in, and there you were, tearing around the outer keep with Gorion hot on your trail. Took the cloak right off his back, you did, and made yourself the cutest little... Yes, I remember. Now can we drop it, please? How have you been? Wait, I remember it now. There was Kelvin Blackstaff trying his hardest to look important while you ran through the stables with his cape tied around your waist. Such a lark. Thought I'd catch my death from laughing, I did. You and me both. Gorion was shaking like a leaf, he was so mad. But nobody was sure what to do, and then Kelvin mutters some words and catches you by the scruff of the neck with some sort of spectral hand. He hauls you out and drops you right in front of him, grabbing the filthy cape in the process. Everyone was scared, weren't they, Jessup? Sure enough. Yep, and then Kelvin busts out in the biggest laugh you ever heard. Everyone in the keep was laughing like mad except you, Rove. You just stood there naked as the days you were born and wondering what the fuss was about. Ah. Oh, certainly, little one. Stop by any time, though. I've got some paintings of you as a youngster I'm sure your little friends would love to see. Remember the one of Rove on the bearskin rug, Jessup? Surely do. In the buff as usual. Cute as a buck you were. Now go play with your friends. Oh my lord. Every kid ever, and every parent ever finds it just as hilarious.
Life is so hollow.
What you want? I've done had enough of this.
You have cooks.
Our quest is vain. What is the point?
We will just read these letters. The spawn of the Lord of Murder are fated to come into their inheritance through bloodshed and misery. It is the hope of their father that only one shall remain alive to inherit his legacy. I foresee that the children of Baldur shall kill each other in a bloody massacre. And, during the days of the Avatars, the Lord of Murder will spawn a score of mortal progeny. These offspring will be aligned, good and evil, but chaos will flow through them all. When the beast children come of age, the beast bastard children come of age, they will bring havoc to the lands of the Sword Coast. One of these children must rise above the rest and claim their father's legacy. This inheritor will shape the history of the Sword Coast for centuries to come. Anyway, let's just give these all to Rove and Nira. Zan, can you use Chill Touch? Well, you probably could, but you have no need for it. Give her that. We'll give Knock to Rove. Vocalize. Now that makes him immune to... Let's see. So indeed, we can write this. I'm not going to give him web, I'll give that to Nira. Or not. Not only he can use it, but the number of spells you can memorize is limited by your intelligence, so I'm not going to waste a spot on that. And I have hit that limit in Baldur's Gate 2 and in both Icewind Dale games.
Is a man's harem of knowledge.
Ooh, harem. Hello, Rove, it is good to see you here once again. A pity you could not have returned during a more restful time. What's going on that would cause you such stress? Oh, it is nothing, I'm sure. It's just that, well, things seem a little strange around here. It's decided like merchants for one. And some of our own monks are acting odd as well. One fellow in particular. Who would that be? Well, there is this one fellow named Coverus. I assume he is a visiting sage of some sort, but he seems more interested in our guests than the tomes. He makes me nervous. I think he's had the same effect on others as well. Young Shistol has been out of sorts for days now. He's not as thick-skinned as I. You remember how nervous he used to be? He's quite the opposite now. Seems like a totally different person. I worry about him. Okay, Imoen, back to looting. We can actually just discard those. They are utterly worthless to us. Give those to Dawn, put these in the potion bag. These in scroll case. Might as well give him infravision, even though he's an elf and doesn't need it. He doesn't need armor, he doesn't need armor. Does Nira need armor? No, nobody needs armor, so into the scroll case you go. Quick save.
In the year of the turrets, A great host will come from the
I've
east
done
like a
had enough
plague
of this.
locusts. So saith the wise Alan.
History of the North. I'm not even going to bother reading the titles of these now. I'm just going to assume that they are all Histories of the North or some other waffle. I just want to see if that normal book has any particular value when we get to Immersion to gain. Priest of Ogma. Here we go, Chromatic Orb. Nothing there. Nothing there. Do this room and then we'll move over to the next. And there's that Cloverus fellow. I want to backstab him and just be done with it. We have luck. Melf's Acid Arrow. Well, there were a couple of things in there, I suppose. Quick save. There's not a hope that we're going to be able to pick his pockets.
I've done had enough of this.
We're all doomed.
A great host will come.
What is the
Quick save. He will...
You need something,
There we go.
stranger?
Can we just kill him?
This will not be a quick death.
I'm just going to skip this because I just want to see if we can murder him. No, we can't. Right.
Whatever.
Now we'll read the dialogue.
You need something, stranger?
This is one of those unskippable things that there's no real way of avoiding it. Hence unskippable, I suppose. You're going to find your way around there, Saravok, who's not Saravok.
How may I be?
Here, we'll send Rove to you. There we go. Oh, I thought I might find you somewhere around here. Allow me to introduce myself. Oh, please do. My name is Cloverus. I used to work for your father running messages to his harper friends in Waterdeep before he passed on. You entrusted this ring to me and asked that I give it to you should evil ever befall him. Will you take it? Let's see. Well, evil befell him alright, but I want nothing of your baubles. Oh, surely you are not blind to the Iron Throne presence in these halls. Don't be a fool. Your father knew that this was no bauble, and even if you have an ounce of wisdom, you would know the same. Now take it before I lose my patience with you. Let's see. I have made up my mind, and it would take more than your words to change it. Keep your ring, I want it not. Do not tempt me, Wardling. If you refuse to take the ring, then at least listen to some advice. The people you deal with are very dangerous, and they guard themselves well. Right now, they are at their weakest. If you strike them now while they least expect it, you may be able to end the threat that they pose to the Sword Coast. You can take this advice or discard it. I do not care. Goodbye, Rove. So what he was going to give us is... I'll explain that in a little bit.
We're all doomed.
Because Lord knows someone may have been living under a rock prior to watching this and actually not know what's going to happen. Completely unrelated to what may or may not be happening next will be us buffing the fuck out of all of our things. You've already got stone skin up, haven't you? Oh no, just magic resistance.
Uh-huh. Jalcales.
Our quest is vain.
And a haste.
Singer, give
Protection
me
from
power.
evil. What buffs do you have? Mirror image. Yeah, we'll throw a mirror image.
What is it this time?
And where's her... Chaos Shield, I think, is the one she wants.
We're all doomed.
And finally, luck. Oh, it's a one-person thing. Okay, and we're going to save. This is one of the harder fights in the game. I mean, fights? Did I say fights? Not at all. We're heading up to a particularly exciting level of the library for kids' story time. And up we go.
Is so hollow. Whatever.
You tell him, Rove.
What is the point?
And just through this door is where the stories get read.
How may I be of assistance?
We're just going to light it up for them.
You rang?
That and that. And some people to help read the stories and fetch the books.
What is it? It shall be as you wish.
Oh my lord, Rach, you're going to have to read this. My dear sir, you must realize that it is manners that make the gentleman, so would you kindly prove that you are one by leaving? Right, people can afford to be rude, but this is not you. Leave now before my irate companion Bruno's lets his temper get ahead of his reason. Let's see. You're the bastards behind all of the troubles here from Baldur's Gate. From here to Baldur's Gate. Now that we have you where we want you, don't think we're going to let you live. This is most distasteful. I have always known that the rudeness is how the weak make themselves look strong. Even if you were somehow to beat us in battle, how would you escape the keep? Or did you think that the monks would let you go about murdering everyone within their keep? Crush them mutton heads, boys. God, I need to put my glasses on before I play this game.
Uh-huh.
Another skull trap.
Our quest is vain.
I will listen.
What you want?
Be direct.
We're all doomed.
Speak and be gone.
Yep.
Night Singer.
What is it this time?
Power. All of that.
Actually, do you have sleep? No, you have command.
Life is so hollow.
What you do have is silence. That we can throw in there.
Cut you down to size.
I'll just grab those.
Our quest is vain if you want.
How about you stab him in the fucking head with your... The one time I want them to pick their swords. Grab those.
We're all doomed.
Yes?
Life. What is
Alright,
the
who's
point?
left? Oh, it's everyone. I remember this being a very different fight.